Alright everyone, welcome back to my live stream. You may notice that mischief in the television there on the left. He's like kind of popping all over the place and glitching everywhere. That is because there's a bug with OBS and it just doesn't do window capture on a Mac very well. Also, I can't seem to... Your text messages aren't showing up on my stream here. Just give me a second, guys. I really kind of suck at live streaming, so I don't really know what I'm doing sometimes here. Restream.io. Chat. All right. I can't figure that out, so the chat won't be embedded into the thing, but it doesn't really matter anymore because they changed YouTube and stuff, so you can actually read it when you're watching old live streams. Yeah, everything's broken. God damn it. Oh my god, 233 people, okay. Yeah, so how you guys been doing? The glitchy mischief is kind of cool, eh? So, I got some news for you guys. I'm doing a Christmas video. Okay, and it will be on Adult Swim on their YouTube channel, okay, on Christmas. So I'm working on that, and that's why I haven't really been live streaming much, is because I've been working on that and I can't really show what I'm drawing when I'm doing that sort of thing. So okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people in the stream now, so I will try to, answer the new questions and stuff. If there's any questions that I've usually answered many times before, just check out the description and you'll probably find an answer down there. So, and like all my live streams, they're kind of like spoilers, so if you guys don't want to like ruin what I'm about to release, you shouldn't really watch them because I might draw something, but usually it doesn't give away too much, so anyway. Damn, everything's just broken today. I'm really having a hard time here. I can't even read my chat because it doesn't update. Okay, just give me a second here. So I'm going to be drawing some, like the inside of a factory basically, and yeah. The hacker known as 4chan. I haven't started working on episode 12 yet. I have the music ready for it, but I haven't started animating the episode 12. That might take me a couple months because I want to do something else before I do episode 12. I don't want the channel to just be interface videos, and I kind of need a break from interface because it's like really draining somehow, like creatively. It's like just too much sometimes. So I need to break it up with some silly videos once in a while. And yeah. Okay, so I usually don't animate at 600 by 800 or 800 by 600, but I'm doing this because I'm going to be doing some compositing in After Effects, so you can see I'm going to be basically trying to make like a shot that scales down, I guess, in After Effects, so that's why I make it a little bit bigger resolution so that the pixels don't become too pixelated. So I'm just kind of doodling around right now. I'm just kind of get a shape here. Not really sure what I'm doing. Okay. Oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this anymore. This is just so frustrating. I should just animate on the Windows computer, because, you know, like, there's no like Restream chat anymore. Or maybe I should just start doing it on, you know, YouTube only and not doing restreaming to Twitch at the same time, because it's just, there's like no support for streaming on a Mac, and it's been so frustrating getting everything set up. Either way, I'll just try my best here. I might have to scroll down to read some of the questions though, and they might be a little bit more delayed than usual. So yeah, I mean, I guess there's a lot more people here than usual. I would see, geez man, 300 people, that's like a record. And I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. It's been pretty amazing, so. Alright, this is like the crappiest drawing I've ever done. I'm just trying to draw like a factory scene here, so let me just mess around here for a bit. Perspective's like crap. Hey, Ian Nanya, what was your reaction when Adult Swim first contacted me? I mean, I was pretty surprised that they actually found my stuff, because when they contacted me, I think I had like maybe 20,000 subs or whatever, so not even that many people. I mean, I guess there was a lot there, but it, you know, it's still pretty small of a channel. But I guess they look for this kind of stuff on their own, you know. And I did pitch to them on the development meeting, their show, their stream. They have a show called Development Meeting, where anyone can call in and basically pitch a program to them. However, I was told that that's not how they found me, so I guess someone who works there found my stuff some other way, probably from Reddit or something like that, likely. Because people have been posting it there. I got a Windows computer too, so I'm not like, I don't have to use the Mac to live stream my drawings. It's just the I like using Logic Studio, which is the music program, and that you can get with a Mac. And I didn't really want to learn a different program, so, and like relearn basically everything I've been doing for the past 10 years or so. So that's why I got a Mac. But yeah, live streaming on it is just a mess. So, however, I do get this new, this mic set up with it. So I mean, my voice is a little bit more sounds nicer than the potato webcam that I was using as well. Anyway, alright, so there's a little box there, some sort of like factory thing, I guess. Put some like control panel here or something. And Big Smells Bad. Hey, man, I'm happy you guys, the merch is fitting you well and stuff. And you know, I don't really know how to compare it to different brands. Like I've been using Teespring because I think the quality holds up. And thank you guys for buying that stuff. Yeah, FL Studio, I mean, I think the FL Studio used to be Acid, and I used to use that a long time ago, but I'm just happy with Logic, so. Also, you know, well, the real chat, man, let's see here. Someone just super chatted here. Hey, Umami, it's me, Hayden Compton. God, man, you grew so big as a YouTube channel. I'm proud of you, man. You've inspired many people with your awesome art. The Real Shad Man. Hey, The Real Shad Man. No, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the super chat and the support. Cool, man. Are you like the Real Shad Man, like the actual Real Shad Man, or are you just like an account that is using that as a name? People always come in here and discuss Shadman. Let's see here. Umami, could you make a t-shirt with just white with Mischief's face on it? Yeah, Sony, I guess I can do that. I haven't really done it because personally, I don't like wearing white shirts because whenever I buy a white shirt, I end up getting like mustard stains on it, like the first day I buy it, so I guess I should do that, yeah. You know, the problem I have with Teespring is you can't just like update a product though. It's really friggin' annoying. You have to like unlaunch it and then relaunch it and then, I don't know if it like sends you guys emails each time I do that. Like it just seems frustratingly annoying. But I'll try including white in future designs so you guys can choose white shirts. Tangerine Dream, yeah, I've heard some of that music. Pyre Gnome. I don't know if there's much of a relation to them, if it is just stylistically similar, I guess. I've been looking into, because a lot of people have been asking about getting like the music, the soundtrack for Interface released on CDs and vinyl. And I don't have a record player, so, however, I would be able to get them made onto vinyl. I was thinking of doing like I don't know, pre-orders or something, like a Kickstarter that's basically just like the only tier is to buy one record, right? That way, if it makes over the amount that I need in order to make records, then it's not a problem. The thing is, I have to sell like 300 of them, basically, just to like break even, I think. And I'm not even sure if I can sell 300 of them, so I will let you guys know about that in the future. There's a company nearby that can produce record vinyls. Also with vinyl, they're limited to 20 minutes per side, roughly. So I've been adding it all up, and the soundtrack for Interface is getting really close to being 40 minutes. So I'm gonna have to make a decision soon because otherwise, you know, I think it might make sense to release it in parts, like part 1 on a vinyl, I guess, you know. Oh, and those holiday cards, yeah, so there's a competition in the Discord going on until the 20th, I believe, so very likely I'll just be doing a live stream to announce the winners like I did last time, so that'd be kind of fun. However, now that I think about it, I may not be here, so it might be delayed. Well, we'll see. I'll let you guys know. I don't know if I'll be releasing it on cassette. I mean, I'll think about it. The thing is, I might be able to leave it as an option on Kickstarter or whatever, but like, I don't know how many people would buy it on cassette, you know what I mean? Unless it's like a popular thing and I don't realize it, you know? If you do vinyl, I'd do it in parts such as disc 1 and parts 1 and 2. Yeah, I'd say so too. And maybe I'd do it in like editions, you know, like, so that, you know, it'd be kind of cool to get like the first edition, whatever, makes it special. Maybe it's slightly different art on it or something. So, anyway, that's to come. Not anytime relatively soon, but I mean, hopefully I can get something like that done within the next 3 or 4 months, maybe. We'll see. I've been really busy recently with these commissions from Adult Swim, so there's more coming, but they've been eating up a lot of time, so. You should get some merch with less off-putting characters on it. I like Mischief, but I'd rather not have to explain why I'm wearing to everyone. Hey, Ethan, I totally understand. I should do that because it is a bit weird, right? People probably like. Some people were saying like, "What is that? Is that like insane clown posse or something on your shirt, right?" And the characters are kind of strange looking, so maybe some more like neutral clothing. That'd be cool. Just a matter of me getting around to doing it. It's been, you know, but I'll keep that in mind. WaveNet, do you have an interest in psychology? And has it been an influence on how you script your videos? Yeah, so if you guys know like about screenwriting and stuff, like I don't claim to be like good at screenwriting, okay? But one of the things with screenwriting is they play on a lot of sort of psychological factors. If you watch all the really good movies in the past 100 years or whatever, like a lot of the times you can boil down the movie to the same sort of I guess tropes. They're kind of like you guys ever heard of the hero's journey? It's sort of things like psychologically embedded in the human psyche, that if you were to write a story incorporating these elements, you're more likely to succeed because these are elements of stories that have been passed down for generations and generations, like archetypes, exactly, Frank Tinsley. So I keep that in mind when I'm writing my episodes. However, I don't stick to I don't adhere to it 100%. I keep it in mind, you know. Here's the one thing that I found the most important, though, which for me is if you're writing a script. I had a screenwriting teacher in Halifax, and he told us basically, this doesn't apply in every case, okay, but for a lot of times you have the beginning of your script and it's a guy who's upside down like this, right? And eventually at the end of the script it doesn't have to be a guy either, it could be a woman, but you want your person to be upright, okay? This is like visually representing what your script should be doing, which is there should be some sort of a change and there's something not right and it makes it better. But that doesn't necessarily mean everything's good at the end either. And not all scripts need to be a change in character either. I mean, like, so if you watched There Will Be Blood, the main character, the oil baron, I forget his name, he's basically the same guy at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie. And that's kind of the point. However, there is a journey where he does kind of change in certain ways. I can't really explain it, but, you know, if you incorporate archetypes and you look up the hero's journey and you're at least aware of it when you're writing your scripts, I think it will help. And that's all I can say about that, really. And people were saying, is there any book that you recommend? And there's one book that you should check out. It's called hold on, let me just look it up real quick. It's called Story by Robert McKee. So if you're interested in screenwriting, this is a really cheap book, but it's also full of really useful information. And I'll post a link right there. You guys can check that out. And Kiwi, do you have inspiration from paintings? And that's been something that's been helping me develop the script of the interface stuff, because man, this drawing is taking me forever to draw. Okay, but yeah, the paintings have kind of, because if you think about like famous paintings over the past 20th century, they're all kind of representing a period of time, right? And I want interface to kind of feel kind of like multi-dimensional in time, and like, and incorporates a lot of allegories, I guess, to like 20th century events. And so I find that using paintings kind of helps, because each painting kind of represents a different period of time. Anyway, sorry, I'm drying up here. I think the guy from There Will Be Blood got worse. Yeah, he did technically get worse. He got worse in some ways, and he got his, the thing is, he got what he wanted, which was to basically control large portions of the oil fields in the Midwest, whatever, and became rich for it. But he never like realized why it was unfulfilling for him, I guess. Or maybe it was fulfilling for him. I guess that's a discussion for another time. I can't really talk on it too much. Umami, can you make a meme where Mischief says, I'm going to say the N-word, it's a new meme that's spreading and it won't be long before it becomes old and dead? I'll have to look that meme up first. But I gotta be careful about what kind of stuff I draw on YouTube. Not that anything in my stuff is controversial or anything, but like it just seems like people are being community guidelines striked over the most ridiculous things these days. So I'll try to err on the side of caution when it comes to things like that. However, I will check out that meme later. Okay. I saw this movie. Do you guys see the movie, Clint Eastwood's new movie, The Mule? I'm not going to ruin it or anything, but I saw it yesterday. I think it came out yesterday too. It's a pretty decent movie. If you like Clint Eastwood, I like Clint Eastwood a lot, so I had to see that one immediately. If you guys don't know, it's basically Clint Eastwood works for the cartel and as a drug mule. That's all I'll say, really. But, you know, based on that premise alone, it would be kind of something you might be interested in. Fats, did you get formal education in music and animation or to learn, or did you just screw around in programs until you got good? So I took like piano lessons when I was a really young kid, but I quit when I was like maybe 4 or 5. I forget how long I was, 7. I didn't take them for more than like a year or two, and then I did take band class in grade like 7, and you know, I just never really enjoyed it because of the music choices that we would have to play and that sort of thing, so I never really got into it, regretfully, because I don't actually know how to play a piano. Like, if someone were to put sheet music in front of me, I wouldn't be able to do it. So I think oh shit. So I haven't really, my education in music isn't really formal. And I did learn some things, like I know some things about, like, you know, different scales and stuff. I can't play the scales on my own though. I use a transposer with Logic. So if I decide to compose something in a certain scale, I'll use the transposer to make it easier for me. So yeah, basically just playing around with it forever until, you know, and emulating stuff that I enjoyed listening to. So there's some video game composers like Jesper Kid, or is it Jesper Kid, and Akira. I can't pronounce his last name, but it's like Yakamura or something like that, who's made the Silent Hill soundtracks. And I think they kind of, well, I know about Akira, I think it was very similar. They, back when they were making the soundtrack for the Silent Hill, they were like, we need music, and I think he kind of like volunteered or something. And, but I think at that time too, he wasn't super trained in music either. I'm not really sure. I had to look that one up again, but. So you don't need to be like, a lot of electronic musicians these days, they don't know how to play like actual instruments either. Like, I don't know how to do it, right? But I don't think it really matters either. Like, if you're able to make something that people are enjoying to listen to, then it makes no difference. It's just different tools, you know? There's a lot of musicians that can play guitars, but if you give them a DAW or whatever, like if you give them Logic, they wouldn't know what to do with it. So it's just a different tool. That's all it is. Thanks for playing. Will the next episode be the last one, and will you create more series like this? Thanks for playing. First of all, thank you for the super chat. And I don't think it's going to be the last episode. No, it's not. Episode 12 might be the last of season 1, because I think what I want to do is it's going to kind of tie up, like basically the last episode sort of tied up the storyline with the blue guy. You understand what he wants to do now, right? And episode 12 will kind of tie up a little bit more of the rest of the story, okay? It won't be the end, but I'll say that's season 1. and then I'll release an album. I'll release a soundtrack. Call it part 1 or whatever. And then I'll start with episode 13. That's what I think I'm going to be doing. Very likely, because it's kind of, it like starts it off in a new kind of trajectory, you know? After the last episode anyway. And the last episode took a lot out of me. It was like 6.5 minutes long and full of crazy animation, and I can't make all the episodes like that. I'll just go crazy. Like, I spent basically every day on the computer last month. It was not good, so I can't do that for my mental health or physical health. Anyway. Yeah, Joe Bob, the voice actor in, hold on, let me see if I can get his YouTube channel up here. The voice actor in episode 8, the guy that played the television salesman, or kind of like the toy hazmat commercial guy, was voiced by Phil Jameson, who was generous enough to help out on that. Provided his voice. Yeah. Usually I do all the voices. I do Mischief's voice. I've done the German guy's voice in those Barry videos, and I think that's it, actually. Everyone else I've hired, so or they've provided the voice for me without, like, you know. So, hey Rob Paul, thanks man for being a Patreon, and thanks for the comment, Rob Paul. Hey Umami, have you seen the YouTube series by Jared Wright, The Big Les Show? Yeah, Danky, I did see that actually, and it kind of also made me want to make my own series when I saw that. I was like, well, this guy's able to do it in MS Paint, right? So I could do something similar in Canada. Not that I wanted to animate in MS Paint. It's got a similar aesthetic, though. I saw that, like, I don't know, about a year ago, maybe. I'd never seen all the episodes, though. I saw a few portions, a few clips. But I thought it was pretty cool what he was doing down there, so... Epicure, the 3D building shot in episode 11 is all done with SketchUp and Cinema 4D Lite, which comes with After Effects. So, and I've done some live streams on how I do my 3D stuff. You can kind of zip back in history. If you go to the live stream playlist, you'll find it, some stuff in the past. Nightmare Files. Do you animate for other channels? Depends. I mean, when I was starting out, hey, first of all, thank you for the super chat, $2, man. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate that. When I was first starting out, I did do some things kind of pro bono to help, you know, cross-promote my channel and their channel. For instance, the Let's Read channel, he's got an intro that he uses that I did. But these days, I just don't have the time to really do commissions or anything, because it's just like I just don't I just don't have any time. But if you ever were interested, send me an email. We might be able to work something together, you know, possibly. And the lamb sauce. Hey Dad, it's been a while. I was just wondering how long it takes to get to the gas station and back. Also, keep up the great work. Hey, lamb sauce. You know, I'm just going out for some cigarettes, so I'll catch you later. Thanks for the $5, man. I appreciate that. Jeez, you guys are being too nice, too generous. Big H. Thanks, man. Party rockers in the house. Thanks, dude. And the real Shad Man again. Umami, did you think of what you want for Christmas? You know what? I don't really want anything for Christmas because, you know, all you guys supporting me so much is more than I can ask for in the past year. I've been really lucky with you guys, so I've already got my Christmas gift, and it's you. Isn't that nice? Otherwise, I don't know. I don't really have anything. I needed to buy new pants because my old ones are falling apart. And I got pretty much everything I need these days, so I don't really have anything I would like for Christmas, you know. Okay, so I got a machine here, and this is a can of soup, and it's going to be going into the machine. I'm not happy with the machine because it looks so basic. You know, usually when I draw by myself, it doesn't take me this long to draw, just because I'm multitasking. My brain can't handle it. Oh, another super chat, man. Oh, Nightmare Files. Hey, man. If you go to my, well, actually, if you go to my About page, there will be a CAPTCHA, which will lead to my email address. It's info@hexsystem.com. And I'll get back to you, man. For sure. Thanks, dude. Jeez, you guys have been very helpful here. Nadamok, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. All right, guys. All right, guys. So you guys are anticipating some sort of soup video, eh? And let me just say that there will be a soup video. I want to get it done, you know, soon. But the thing is, it's like around Christmas time, and the voice actor I used, I'm not sure if he's available, because like it's around Christmas time. And I haven't written the script 100% yet. I got part of it, so we'll see. Joe Bob. Artie Rockers in the house. Hey, Joe Bob, thanks, man. Thank you for that. And also thank you for all the hilarious memes in the Discord. You've got some good quality original memes. All right. Stefan Straunch, your soup son. Hey, thanks for, man. Appreciate that, dude. I love your profile pic there. And the lamb sauce, thank you, man. You guys, this is too much, right? All right, Chase McLeod. Here's a couple of quid from the UK for new pants. Hey, Chase McLeod. Man, I appreciate that. Thanks, dude. You guys are very generous. All right, guys. I need to draw some stuff now. I only got this really crappy box with a can of soup. At this rate, it's going to take me 3 years to get something drawn here. First of all, what does the Campbell soup can look like? I need to look that one up. You know what I want to do with these soup videos? I want to do a trilogy, just like the McDonald's series. Black text, white border. Yeah, it's like a Okay. This is the old-fashioned vegetable soup, but I think they all sort of look the same. Bold, who inspired you to make the interface series hey, Bold, just check out in the description. I got some answers for you down there. That's one of those questions I've answered a lot in the past, about inspiration and stuff. And there's other YouTube channels, basically, and movies and stuff. Okay, so I got a can of soup here. It says soup on the bottom. It's got a yellow symbol. Looks like a Pokeball. Okay. Gray on the top. Malarel? I'm sorry if I butchered your name there. Malarel? I love what you do and just wanted to let you know you got my support. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for that. I really appreciate you and supporting me like that. Thank you so much. Okay. Back to my can of soup here. Please let me know how I pronounce your name, if I didn't butcher it or not. I'm not good at reading. Hey, this real shad man, pants and soup. Thank you, man. Alright, so I got one can of soup here. It's alright. Weird French sounds. Marielle. It's difficult for me to pronounce French words with lots of vowels. I tried doing it because I live in Quebec and it's pretty tough. So I grew up in like Nova Scotia, where the English part of Nova Scotia at least. Malariel. I see that. Okay, there we go. Malariel. So what is your opinion on pixel art? You know what? So, I mean, I wasn't the first person to do this pixel art stuff, obviously. You guys know of... there's been tons of other YouTube channels, right? Like the guy who did the Dilbert animations. And, of course, what was his name? It was like Chef Boyardee. And then Pilot Red Sun. And then Sweezney and all that. But I have a feeling that it's like... And now, and also Jack Stelbert too as well. It's kind of like on a trend, you know. It's like on a trend. It's like an animation trend. So I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm just saying that it's kind of like a trend on YouTube, pixelated animations. The lamb sauce. I'm freaking soup to my pants, Mom. Oh boy, lamb sauce. You gotta be careful there. And I don't think I can hear the static of the bugs in my brain. Bush Jr. was funded by the ant farm industry. Open your fucking eyes. All right there, Lil Holly. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And do you know about Zilla Cami? I found out about I found out about you by him. Yeah. You know what? I did know about him before. And before he started like he mentioned me on Instagram or whatever. And apparently he's been watching interface animations, so that's kind of cool. Someone as like popular and famous as him has found my obscure animations on YouTube. So I know about him for sure, yeah, and I think it's pretty sweet that he gave me a shout out like that. I appreciate that. It's also a trend with games now. Lots of good games designed with pixel art style. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing, guys. Like, I don't know if, like, at a certain point, I'm gonna kind of want to move away from pixelated stuff, don't you think? Because it's gonna be off trend in a couple years. Or should I just stick with the pixelated stuff? Because, you know, I don't want to be like limiting myself to constraints here. I feel at a certain point I'm gonna have to move away. But for now, I guess I'll be doing the pixelated animations. Because it is becoming very, very popular. It seems to be like this new thing. Everything's pixelated these days. There's even a new YouTuber that's becoming popular now. I think he's got 25,000 subs, and he's been doing some animations that are pixelated too. Lumpy Touch. Have you guys heard of that guy? Hey Umami, what do you think of Xavier Renegade Angel? I'm assuming you heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it, and I've seen some episodes. I don't really have an opinion on it though, because I haven't really watched enough. I'm just gonna scroll through the chat here. It's moving real fast today. You could explore why people want the pixelated. I don't know, man. I don't even know why I wanted it to be pixelated. All I know is I saw it and I was like, well, this is an easy way for me to make animations without eating up my hard drive. Because rather than each frame being like 10 megabytes, each frame is like 10 kilobytes, you know, because of the size of the resolution. That was one of the things that was holding me back from doing animations for so long, was that if I was going to do animations, I realized how resource intensive it was on a computer. However, this pixelated style kind of just it makes everything really easy on the computer, you know? Pixelated art is for people who won't bother with 3D modeling. That's true. However, I've been doing some 3D modeling at the same time and making it look like it was 2D pixel art. So, I don't know. Some people do that with cell shading and things, I suppose. Sorry guys if you had a question and I'm like ignoring it or whatever, and I'm not doing it intentionally, it's just because there's so many people in here today. That I'm not able to get to all the questions. Kava, or is it Kawa? My girlfriend and I fall in love with your channel. I was wondering if the religious tones I picked up with interface was accurate. I mean, I'm not religious either, so like I don't go to church or anything. However, you probably picked up that Henrik, who's the blue guy in the interface series, is at least religious or Catholic or something like that. So I'm not really that religious. However, I'm using religious symbolism, kind of as a way to explain certain things, and also to act as a story, I don't know, catalyst or whatever. Like, you may be able to implicate that the reason why he didn't jump off the building was because he was Catholic, and that isn't it a sin to kill yourself. So even though he could do it, he chose not to. And I don't think like all religion is bad or anything either. Like, I used to think that when I was younger, but I think it's got its place depending on how you use it. And in the case of Henrik, he's religious because of his upbringing, which was early 20th century. And back then, people were quite religious, I guess, and especially in the U.S., so that makes sense for his character. Not everyone was, but, you know, a good portion of people were. Not everyone these days goes to church anymore, but back then it was more common, so... How do you do pixel art and 3D modeling correlate in the slightest? Oh, wait, sorry, I'm reading a response to someone else's. Are you French or from the French Quebec? Yeah, so you guys were mentioning, someone said you were from New Brunswick, or I'm originally from Nova Scotia, and I moved to Quebec for a job. And I have not moved away since. So after I got the job, I worked there for 2 years, and I got laid off. So then I started freelancing as a video editor, and then started making documentaries for YouTube. And then a year ago, started doing these animations, and that's how I ended up here, I guess, doing these animations. So some of you may already know what I started doing when I moved to Quebec, which was I worked in the porn industry as a video editor. So that's a fun fact. I didn't actually edit porn, though. I edited kind of like videos that were for Playboy.com, which were more like kind of interviews. They were not very interesting interviews, I can say that. They were just basically interviews with the models and stuff like that. So, and after 2 years of that, my brain started to melt because the interviews were so mind-numbing. So that when I did get laid off, it wasn't so bad, but it was kind of scary for a little bit there. You know what I actually did was I used to... Human Trash 4026. Hey man, thank you very much for that. Is that rubles? 200 rubles, I think. I'm not sure, but hey, thanks. Appreciate it for the super chat. Yeah, I mean, I got laid off, but it was one of those things that, like, everyone around me was getting laid off too, so I kind of expected it to happen eventually. And so I did that, and now I'm fine though, you know. So I'm doing all right freelancing. And but yeah, the interviews were brutal. I would get like a 2-hour interview. I'd have to edit it down to like 5 minutes, whatever. And sometimes the girls would talk like, it'd be like, like yesterday, we were going we were going shopping, and what happened, and so what I had to do was cut out all the likes and all the ums and reduce it down to a cohesive 5-minute take, and they weren't always that bad. Sometimes they would be better than others, but you know, 2 years of that, and it's about time to leave anyway. I gotta save this before my computer messes up. Here, let me just save this real quick. Ugh. God. I don't know why I can't save this. It's like all grayed out. What is going on? What the heck? It's all grayed out. You guys can see that, can't you? Why? Let me just do something drastic here. What is going on? Okay. What the hell? I can't seem to save anything. Man, I'm just not having a good day with this. You know what? Let's just ignore that. Well, maybe we shouldn't ignore that, because if I can't save, I don't know how I'm going to be able to use this file later. Okay, suddenly it works again. I'm just going to save it to the desktop for now. Machine. I don't know why it was so grayed out like that. It's weird. Okay, back in business. Looks in the Matrix, yeah. Hey, Marius Hansen. Oui, c'est correct, je parle un peu de français aussi. My French is alright, I guess. You know, when I actually went to Paris a couple years ago, and I was able to communicate more in French over there than I was in Quebec. Because the classes that they teach here, they teach you, like, French. They don't really teach you the slang, and so people use a lot of slang out here, and I don't really understand what they're saying sometimes. Depends on the person, obviously. Sometimes I can understand someone crystal clear. Other times it's like, I have no idea. But, yeah. Okay. Hey, Bass Boy Low G. What are you curious about exactly? The audio, I might be able to explain some things. So basically, the things that are on Patreon are music that has not been released yet. So all the interface music is early access on Patreon. Until I'm able to put it onto a physical record, that's where it will be on Patreon. Just because I don't want to release an album when it's like half finished, you know what I mean? So that's why it's been taking me a while, and yeah, that's all. There's plenty of other music though I release on Bandcamp, and it's all free. You can download for free. However, when I do release the interface soundtrack, I might charge something small, because I don't want people who paid for the Patreon previously to feel like all of a sudden the stuff that was on Patreon is just free. You know what I mean? Like they weren't just paying for nothing. So, and I will be able to, I'm going to try to keep it pretty reasonable though, and especially the merch, not the merch, but the records and vinyls. I might just sell it like at a point where it basically just breaks even, because after the shipping and it's going to be quite expensive, you know, even that way. So. Okay, I got a can of soup here, and what is this, like 3 hours in? I got a can of soup and some box. Alright. This is going to be just one element of my animation, okay? So. Yeah, like $5, something like that, probably. That would make sense. Okay, interface, okay, animations, bonus videos. Oh, I already have a folder. Hanson, I went to art school, so I do have a background in art. And but when I went to art school, it was mostly for film production. I didn't really do too much stuff other than painting, and so. Abled Muslim, Jew, lesbian of color. Hey man, well, thank you for doing that. Hope you find something on there you like. My music's been around for about 10 years on Bandcamp, and or about 9 years, I guess. And it never really went anywhere until I started making these animations, obviously. So my earlier stuff isn't really that good. Just so you heads up. Kind of not mixed well. Doesn't have enough bass, I guess. It's really hard to mix electronic music, I find. You have to really understand like how to balance all the frequencies and not make it sound muddy, and it's tricky. I find it tricky anyway. Okay. I didn't edit porn, I edited interviews with Playboy models. However, our office was it had like glass doors and stuff, and you could look into different departments. And the Juicy Boys department was like right next to ours. So if you can imagine what kind of stuff was on their computer monitors. In some ways it was kind of fun working there because you didn't have to worry about like anything really. You couldn't really get in trouble for looking at stuff like anything on the computer. Like you could send the dumbest GIFs or whatever to each other and people would just laugh at it. And like not safe for work GIFs, you know what I mean? And the Halloween parties were pretty cool. There were Halloween parties that were pretty neat. They used to like hire models and stuff, and the Christmas parties were the same way. But it didn't pay very much, I can tell you that. And they didn't really value video editors that much either, because I mean, really, in that industry, it's not really a important role, I say. It's mostly sales and that sort of thing, so I guess that's how most things go, though. Juicy Boys unsubscribed. Yeah, that's how it was, you know? That's how it was, though. Does Animator Toolbar work with pirated Photoshop? I have no idea, man. I can't answer that. I do know that it's like linked with their thing called Exchange. So it might be difficult to get it to work because if you're using the pirated version, I don't know how easy it is to link up to things on their server. But this toolbar down here, I'm not using it right now, but it's like been a game changer for me, so. Umami, do you like horror movies? If so, what's your favorite horror movie franchise? What's the most obscure movie you've seen? I'm not really too much into horror, honestly, so I can't really say. I'm not a big horror fan. I mean, there's some horror movies I enjoyed watching. What's the most obscure movie I've seen? Probably this like Russian movie where there's like this guy wandering around to in like rural Russia because he has to find the factory that makes air conditioners for his supplier or whatever, and he ends up going to like a restaurant, and then the chef makes a cake that looks like the main character's face, and then he serves the cake to him and then like cuts the cake right in half, like right across the cake's face. It's like the weirdest scene ever. I wonder if I can look up the name of that movie. It was called it was a Russian movie, and it was, oh god, I'm not going to be able to remember the name of this. Maybe someone in here who's Russian can answer. Let me just spend a few seconds here looking it up. It was called, okay, first of all, it was directed by the same guy who made the movie White Tiger. So I can look up that. Directed by this guy. Oh, excuse me. Who also directed, it's called Zero City or Zero Grad. Let's see if I can find the scene on YouTube. Oh, I think I found it. Okay. I'm not going to play it because of copyright and stuff, but here's the link. This is probably the most obscure movie I've seen. Maybe it's not so obscure in Russia, but for me it is. I just posted a link in the description. You guys can watch that. It's a weird scene. The rest of the movie is okay, actually. The rest of the movie I liked too, but there were some portions of it that were quite long. Like he goes to a museum and it's weird because it's almost similar to the interface. Like he looks the same. He wears the same sort of trench coat. He kind of doesn't really talk that much. He goes to like a museum. But, and this was just coincidence because I saw this movie like a couple months ago, way after I made the interface stuff, so. Anyway. You guys can watch that scene. I think it's worth watching. This drawing really does look kind of like a Dave Firth drawing, doesn't it? It's just this. Usually, I don't draw so kind of like in this, but like the lines here particularly do really look like they were influenced by him. I gotta get the new messages down here. Guadern Earth. Have you seen I haven't seen that review of the Russian game Bangers. Is it a good game, Bangers? So excited for Salad Fingers 11. Is he still making Salad Fingers? I hadn't really been watching it, honestly. I mean, I used to watch them back in 2005. And I haven't really watched most. I've seen like Cream and stuff and like some of his other newer things. I didn't know he was still making Salad Fingers though. There's gonna be another one pretty soon, eh? Oh, that's cool. I'll have to check that one out. He hasn't made a Salad Fingers in a while. Yeah. Chill Cali or Khalil? Yep, all the music is made by me, except for the Berry Donut video, which I just licensed music because it was like samba music. I can't even see my own screen because the sun's coming out at an angle here. Gotta turn the brightness up maybe. Gotta turn the brightness up on my monitor here. That's a little bit better. Alien Pimp, this is not Adobe Animate, this is Photoshop, which is not really an animation program, but there are plugins that help facilitate it to be an animation program, like this plugin called Animator's Toolbar Pro. I'm not actually going to be doing any animation in this shot. Maybe I can open up something I've done previously that you guys can see how exactly it looks. Let me just load it up. Something from Interface episode 11 maybe. Okay, so you guys have seen this shot from Interface episode 11, and if I were to play it, that's the animation that I did in Photoshop. Okay. So there's a layer on top, which is the black outlines, and then there's layers underneath. This is the ultra green, the very bright green. If I turn that off, in her eyes, see that? I turn that off. Also, turn off the green, darker green, I guess. So now it's just red. So as you can see, this is how I started. First I started just like this, I colored it in. Slowly add different layers to it. And you get an animation which you can import into Premiere or After Effects. Hey Oleg, yeah, there's thing called animators. It's called Character Animator, and it doesn't really work that well on the Mac, so it's kind of glitchy and buggy. But on the Windows computer, it's a lot better. It's a still new program though, so. Let me see who else, if I can find something else here. I'm going to open up some After Effects files so you guys can see the more advanced stuff I've done. Because you can't do it all in Photoshop. So this shot was from the last episode too, and basically what I did was I made 3D layers, and so you got a camera here, and basically they're on separate, like they're basically 3D layers, right? You can animate the camera on a 2D plane and it looks like animation basically, right? If you turn my quality and sampling down to draft, it keeps it nice and pixelated. So there's that too. It's kind of cool. I wonder if I can show you the 3D stuff. Sorry guys, I just can't find what I'm looking for right now. SketchUp maybe? Alright, so here's a 3D scene. Hold on. Here's a 3D scene. And you guys have seen this. It's gonna take a while to render because I'm like live streaming and stuff at the same time. Okay, but this is all 3D too. This is a 3D model. That is, let's see if I can find it here. Is it this? No, that's the background. Ooh. Okay. The 3D model is right here, which is, I got multiple different layers that trace different things. This one's tracing the outlines. This one is tracing the shadows. And oh, the bottom one is basically, if I were to turn these layers off, it's a cell shaded version of the 3D model. You see that? The 3D model is a Cinema 4D file, which if I were to open that up, you will see so here's my 3D model, which I did this in SketchUp because I don't know how to model things in 3D. But I mean, I guess SketchUp is pretty good because it's easy if you know how to work around the bugs and stuff. And so the camera shot is basically like this. And there's buildings in the background there, which I decided to just render them black after the fact because I thought they were too detailed. It was making the animation look weird. It's about striking a balance. So here's a few things too. Look at this. See how the power line is missing? I actually had to draw that in manually because I messed up when I did the model. So basically, there's a layer called, let's see if I can find it here. Right there. Right there and right there. It's a shape layer, which is basically, I just drew that on in After Effects. Don't even know. No one notices. And then, yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of different layers building up on things, and it takes a while to figure out all these little details. But that is what I've been doing basically. So, big purple panda with a gun. To do the models, I was just using SketchUp, so anyone can download old versions of SketchUp if you want. You basically just draw something, and I'm a little bit more precise when I actually do it. What I like about SketchUp is how easy it is to just make quick shapes, you know? Like, it doesn't take very long. And for me, when it comes to animation, it's about being efficient. And, you know, I'm not a 3D modeler, okay? So, in the future, I would be able to, you know, just hire someone to do this kind of stuff because they could do a better job, you know? But that's, you know, that's how you do modeling in SketchUp. It's really easy. You gotta watch some tutorials on YouTube, and you can paint. Like, I got my palette here, which, you know, weirdly enough is a lot easier to do on a Mac than it is on the Windows, because the palette, the built-in palette, is different on Windows for some reason. Anyway, so that's that. So like I've been saying, this animation is, I want it to come out, you know, soon, but it may not be until January, so we will see. There will be a Christmas video, and you guys will see that. I'll post about it, and it won't be on my channel, but it will be on Adult Swim, and I'll post the links so you can find it. Yeah, man. Thank you guys. It will be on Adult Swim, their online website. It might be on television. They don't always put it on television though. It might just be on the online stuff. Okay, so my can is on the wrong layer now. So copy that. Oops. Hey, the real Shadman, did you know if you press Alt F4 it draws 3D shapes? Alt F4. Doesn't that close the program? Do you mean like in Photoshop, or in what program are you referring to? Yeah, it won't work on here. Okay. Hey there, Connor. You want some more water slurps? Oh man. I got this real high quality microphone. You guys can hear some real high quality slurps now. So up here I need to draw like some sort of like lamp. What do you call those things? Light bulbs? Fluorescent lights? Oh Jesus. Okay. You know what? I usually should arrange my workspace so I don't have that thing down there, so I can just see everything nice and big. Hold Command Option Shift Escape for 5 seconds. I don't know, Shadman. Doesn't that like reset the RAM or something crazy on the Mac? I think I'll just have to hold off on that one. I really don't like how I drew that fluorescent light. It looks like crap. I'm gonna just undo all that. It looks really bad. Okay. Let's try that again. It looks really flat. Let's try something else here. There should be a light hanging, right? They don't even have lights like that. They have like those big tube lights. I don't know. I'm not even feeling this drawing. It's not working out for me. Okay, there we go. That looks whatever. Wow, that looks just bad. I gotta delete that. I can't do the lights right now. Perspective seems weird. Yeah, the whole perspective, this whole shot is just, it's not good. So I'm gonna move on to something. I will show you what I'm gonna do next. Can of soup here. We can do some basic animation. There. Okay, so now I got that. And okay. Do not touch the green goblin, he bites. All right. Okay, so now my conveyor belt's moving a little bit. If I were to duplicate those frames now, let's see what happens. Looks alright. Sort of. Feel like I need to clean some of them up, like this one. Alright, so looks alright, I guess. Looks okay. It's gonna look better when I show you what I'm planning for this shot. So what I'll do now is I'll save this as a animation thing. Just give me a sec here. Okay, so that's my conveyor belt layer. Save this. Save this also. Machine and factory belt. Okay. And then I can delete these. This is the background. This is my can of soup. Save this as PG. Save this as soup. Okay, quit Photoshop. Now I'm going to open up After Effects. All right, so let's see here. Gonna open. Okay, 640, 480, 15 frames a second. I don't know how long this shot's going to be. Let's just say 8 seconds, okay? Put my background in there. I don't know why it's hold on a sec. Ah, shit. Just give me a sec. I gotta open that in Photoshop again. Kedoshi, how much am I paying for Adobe? It's like 100. Oh my god, I'm looking at these are Patreon rewards. I don't know if these people want to be published or not, so I will not show you them. It's like, you already saw them though. What was I saying? Yeah, it works out to be $100 a month, roughly. Canadian. It's expensive. But it's worth it. It's well worth it, in my opinion. What am I doing here? Where's my Photoshop file? Okay. Oh, God. Just give me a second here. Photoshop, come back. Why? Why? There. What the? No, don't open WinZip. Oh, jeez. I was having issues there, but it's fine now. And WinZip wants my attention. Okay, there we go. Background. Saved. Soup. Delete the time. Alright, so, okay. Now, okay, WinZip. Alright, please. Alright, it's gone. So now I should be able to drag this out. Okay, good. Alright, so there's my background. Human trash. What is the most important thing in character design? I don't really know, honestly. I mean, I think the most important thing you can do is don't be afraid to make your characters look different from what already exists out there. And unfortunately, I don't like watching a lot of animation these days, especially new animation. Or if I do watch it, it's not for the animation. I watch it for other reasons, but I feel like a lot of it looks too similar, you know? The very flat kind of flat lighting, not enough shading, not enough shadows. It's done cheaply, that sort of thing. I just feel like character design, you can just try to be a little bit more, I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask, because honestly I haven't really designed that many characters, and there's better people out there that know more about it than I do. So I'm sorry I can't really answer that question. Okay, so like the other thing that I did previously, I'm going to put these on 3D layers. And I'll show you why. Move the background back there. You can scale it up again. Okay. And now, okay, my belt. Animation. I don't know why. Let me just try this again. Delete. Oh, that's why. Because there's other crap in there. So you'll get a file like this. And you see how you can't extend it because you want it to loop, right? In After Effects. Here's what you have to do in order to make it loop. Right click on the file first, go time, enable time remapping, okay? Next thing you do is hold down, I think it's Alt, on the little stopwatch here. So you open up the expressions, go down to loop out under property, loop out, say okay, and see how it ends on a frame where there's nothing. Technically, this is, in my opinion, it's done wrong, where they start counting at frame 0. They should start counting at frame 1, but they count at frame 0. So if you have 4 frames, your last frame is actually frame 3 and not frame 4. That's why there's nothing shows up here. So what you have to do is go back to frame 3, set a keyframe, okay, and then set this to 0, so it goes back to a 1, or the first frame. Okay. Now, when you drag it out, you should be able to drag it out, which you couldn't do before. It will loop forever. See that? That's kind of cool, right? So you got your machine belt layer. And now I want to pre-compose it, first of all. so that I can add the soup can. Hold on. I can also make this a 3D layer, so that, you know, it can be duplicated, and then what I can do is make multiples of this machine. You see, like there's 2 of them now, and this one I can just move it down a bit so the perspective lines up. So now there's 2 machines. Take these machines, move them over a bit, put them back further, I guess. Hold on. Well, I don't like how that is cutting off some of the stuff there, but whatever. For now, that's just, I'm gonna mess around with this later, okay? Basically, you get the idea, though. And, entering this pre-comp here, you can get your can of soup. And looks like it's moving a little too fast, so whatever, looks okay. You can make it go like that, right? And then so you can get a track mat. Just take a shape like this. So now your soup will disappear into the darkness. Okay, and what you'll want to do too is probably have multiples of these. But anyway, you can figure that much out later on. So that's, you know, a really rough shot. Like, this is going to take a while for me to make it look good, but that's basically it. Let's see what else there. I'm missing some stuff down here. I've done some animating with CC before, yeah, but you know, personally I don't like using Flash, so that's why I've been doing it this way. I just like drawing things by hand. In case you see this, when someone hits a follow on Twitch, your webcam changes to oversized. Okay. I'll try to fix that. So many little buggy things with this streaming. It's just been a pain. Hey Umami, what's your thoughts on people making philosophical videos about your series, and does it help you open your eyes to new ideas for the new project? It helps me see how people are interpreting the series, and it does make me consider some new things. However, I don't like to read too much about it because I don't want to stray from my original idea, and I don't want the interpretations to influence future episodes, because then it will become too predictable perhaps as well. So that's why. I love it when people make the philosophical connections. You know, I don't always go out and purposely put them there, you know, but just by creating the animations the way that they are, fractured or whatever, the narrative's kind of all over the place. There's definitely going to be areas where people try to fill in the gaps. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, guys, I'm like, I showed you how to draw my, this is how I do like sort of 3D stuff, I guess. Not 3D layers in After Effects. Hopefully it was somewhat entertaining. I'm kind of a little bit low-key here, a little bit more than usual. But there's my soup cans going into a machine, and it's really rough still. It needs a lot more work. You're going to be seeing some new video coming out soon. I'll post it in the description. And thank you guys so much for all your support, and I really appreciate it. If you have any messages for me, feel free to send me an email or shoot me a message on Twitter or whatever. I'll get back to you guys later. For now, this is good for today, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.